Morning everyone, day 9, stage 9. Today we are here in Silistra. We're going to be moving across Bulgaria for the first time. We only did a tiny little bit yesterday from the passport control checkpoint border crossing into the hotel. Today we've got 40 miles on the cards. If we can do that, we're going from Silistra to Tutrakan. There's going to be some wild stuff. I'm supposed to be running, if I follow the route, across a wildlife reserve, which sounds fantastic. I'm a little bit edgy about it. You know, as ever, it's just haven't really spoken to anyone about what I might encounter out there. So I don't know. We're going to see today anyway. There's some of this could be on a road. If the road is not so busy, there's a road route which I think just looks generally a little bit more safe. If it's not a busy road, I don't know what you might encounter across the reserve. And again, I'm thinking about really is just coming across random farms where there are dogs. And the thing is that when you're in places that people don't normally go, that's when they can be the most problematic. So you have to sort of watch out for that. But we'll see. We're going to go and see. I'm going to get out there and see what. I have no idea really what to expect from Bulgaria. I expect it to be pretty much the same as Romania, to be honest. But from the terrain, from the roads, from all of that stuff. But it's a long one today. If we can eat all the miles, it would be ideal. I don't know. There is a chance that I might cut it shorter and throw some over to tomorrow and even that out to sort of like 35-mile days each rather than trying to do a 40 today. But we will see. How am I feeling? Yeah, I mean, it's a funny one. Every time when you first wake up or when that alarm goes, you're like, oh, I mean, in actual fact, I've been waking up even sort of slightly before the 4 a.m. alarm. And there's a sort of sense of, oh my gosh, I've got to go again. And it's like, stomach goes a little bit. I feel butterflies in my tummy every morning at this point, a bit nervous about going out there. And you have that until you get moving. Go through all the routine. I've got a really set routine of how I prep in the morning now, which I will try and do a video and take you through at some point to show you. It's kind of meticulous. Get my breakfast, do my toes, all of that kind of stuff. All my gear's kind of laid out the night before and I'm ready to roll. The way that I kind of repack the bag, all of that stuff is in a ritual, deliberately so that it's easy in the morning. I know what I've got to do. I don't really have to think too much to get to this point where I can sit and talk to you guys before I go out. And yeah, I mean, I feel scared a bit this morning of the distance, the 40 miles. I have obviously run 40 miles in this so far. Last one was quite a little while back now. What seems like ages ago. It was like 5 days ago. And mainly just because of the heat that you get later into that. So it's like if you even if you're doing 5 miles an hour, which is what I'm trying to do 4 miles running, 1 mile walking, 10-minute miling-ish, you're trying to get 5 miles under the belt. That's still 8 hours, which means if we leave it at 6, we are basically running at 2. And what happens actually is with a few stops and a bit longer, you're looking at 2 and 3. And it's around 1, 2, 3 when temperatures go to sort of 30 something. Just when you're at your sort of lowest and it gets very punishing, you start walking. And yeah, so that's a thing that in the future that you don't really look forward to. But we'll see how we feel. Gonna try and, if I can do them all today and I feel good, great. I'm gonna try and move again this morning like I did yesterday and get through, if I can get through sort of 20 miles rapid, then that will be a help. Other than that, feet are all taped up and holding up quite nicely. I was lucky enough to get a bit of a massage yesterday because it's dirt cheap out here to have it. I just thought, why not? I'll need the legs to be working, so I invested in that. Had a chill day, really longer day, which was nice. Walking around much better after just doing the marathon distance yesterday immediately. And yeah, so the pack is a bit lighter because I've got no resupply fuel. That's another challenge I've only got 4 sets of my precision fuel and hydration cubes, and I've got no other fuel that I would normally eat. So now I'm gonna have to be eating out of the shops, which is something that I've not really done a huge amount of so far. So that's going to be another interesting challenge. But this is why we're here. We're here to sort of try out these tests and see what we can, do. So I guess I'd better get out there and have a crack. It's now sort of 11 minutes past 5. I'm just literally waiting for the sun to be in the sky and up because I don't really like going out in the dark. again, because of the dogs. But yeah, as soon as it's bright enough and light enough, I will get on the move, and I'll give you some updates and sort of show you some of the countryside along the way. So yeah, Silistra to Tutrakan, stage 9. Let's go and have a look. So apologies for the jiggly camera, I'm going to give you an update. I'm trying to rattle through the miles here whilst I've got a bit of shade. Got some runnable road. It was a very slow start this morning. First 7 miles took me about 2 hours because I had to walk through towns. Now I'm on a busy A road. Again, traffic's not so bad at the moment. I'm sure it's going to pick up, but it's flat and runnable, so I'm trying to basically get some done. So anyway, I'm going to get back to it. So day 9 is done then, another 30 plus mile stage in the bag. It wasn't quite the 40 miles that I thought it would be. I changed up the route again. What I'm trying to do is every time that I arrive in a location or I'm here, I ask people whether they think the route that I've got planned via Komoot is a sensible route, or if there's a better way to do it, or if it's safe or dangerous. And I got some advice yesterday, really, that running across the reserve and on the sort of smaller roads wasn't really the smartest thing. I also, coming out of Silistra this morning, I reached a point, there was like a fork in the road where I either went for the main road or I went down and did this kind of old road through the Srebarna Wildlife Reserve, which is, it looks beautiful. But I asked someone in a shop what they thought, and this lad was just like, no, I wouldn't, if I were you, I'd go to the main road. It's, you know, on the other way, there's potentially, he said, people, all sorts of different things, dogs, other bits and pieces that might be tricky. So I don't know, it's very hard to gauge whether or not, you know, sometimes people have said to me, it's dangerous to run that bit, or that bit is a bit sketchy, because they don't quite understand that someone might run that far or run off-road, or they don't really understand running to a certain extent, you know. So I don't know whether it's kind of overblown and it's all fine or what, but anyway, I made the decision on the fly there outside of that shop that I'd take the local advice and I'd stick on the main road. And he said that the road was wide enough that cars could pass and it wouldn't be too busy. He was right. It's a big old wide, busy A road where the cars were going fast, but there wasn't so much traffic that it was vroom, 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 vroom. It was actually, you know, it pulsed sort of less frequently. And actually they tended to give me enough room. And for long stretches, you were just running road. There's no buildings, which means there's no dogs. There were no people. You know, it's not that dissimilar to the run that I had yesterday, which is kind of good because you can get a momentum and a flow. It's not nice when the trucks come past, but mainly it was okay. And yeah, I did really well. The initial morning stage out of Silistra wasn't nice. Beautiful sunrise by the Danube. That was fantastic. But then as we left the city, I keep saying we. I'm on my own. I don't know why I say we. I'm inventing people that are running with me. It's only me on my own. As I left the city, going out through these kind of industrial sort of zones, there were a few kind of dogs one dog came rearing out at me. And yeah, I just walked confidently by. And I think my I'm getting a bit more confident with those situations than I have been in the past, which is good. And I didn't have that many of them today, actually. And then on this main road, whenever we did go past sort of farm buildings or whatever, it just felt like there were fewer dogs here. That may not be the case generally, but today I didn't see as many sort of around, which was nice. So I ran with a bit of freedom, and yeah, after the first 6 miles, it took 2 hours. So I was walking. I got going on the road, and I tucked away 13 of the miles, so it was mile 20, really quite well. You know, just actually like a normal marathon to a certain extent, just popping along. And then at 20, I sort of took refuge in a place to get something to eat, to drink, and had a little bit of a downtime. Yeah, and it was good today. You know, I stopped off a couple of times. I took a couple of moments out. One time I went and lay on a bench somewhere in the shade. Took my shoes off for the first time mid-run, and that made a huge difference to relief, actually. I don't know why I've not done it before. Just for 5 minutes, and just sat there, put my head on the table in the shade and relaxed, closed my eyes. And yeah, it was a good kind of reset, really nice thing to do. And then a couple of miles up again, with just 2 miles to go, I decided to go into another shop, and I sat down. I met the mayor of this small town called Kolarov, who was having a beer at the time, and we were chatting in German about the locality, about the area, and again, just really lovely people. The one thing about these things, the conversation that we had wasn't particularly amazing. There's nothing really to report to you guys, but these human moments that you have when you're so far away from friends and family, and I'm on my own, I'm not really seeing people, and I'm often that lonely stretch of 20 miles for 6 hours, and then you have this moment where you talk to somebody and there's a human connection. It's so heightened, it's so important in the day. It gives you an extra kind of bounce in your step, but it just, yeah, they're just lovely moments. I'm relying on those a lot, actually, and it's like I've talked about the other moments of kindness I've had, but it's that human connection makes a big difference, actually. It takes away some of the loneliness, and it just makes you feel like you're part of the place a little more, and that's been really important. Body check wise, feet are a bit bashed up from hammering the tarmac. I'm pretty sure the tarmac here in Bulgaria is harder than it was in Romania, or both of them are than they are in London. And blisters aren't the problem. It's actually it's just they're sort of hammering up through the midsole foam of the old Saucony Endorphin Speed 2s, which have held up really well, by the way. I mean, they've run fantastically, and I have to say a massive thank you to sportshoes.com, who sorted me out, so I've got enough pairs to last me all the way along the river. These ones are still going strong. You know, I don't know how many miles I've done now, but they're doing a sterling job. And I think regardless of what shoe you put on, you're still going to feel that tarmac coming up through with the amount of miles that I'm doing. But that's the only thing I've really got to worry about. My feet, I've got one tiny little twinge in the little tendon that runs from the shin into the top of the foot. And that is one, before I came out here, I knew that those tendons can be tricky if they go and get overuse injuries. They can be very sore and they don't really recover. So when I got that little twinge, I stopped and walked. I was about 4 miles out. I was trying to get home quicker. I thought, actually, you know, I'm not going to risk it. I chilled out and sort of relaxed and walked the rest of it pretty much, just to make sure that, as I'm doing every day, you get from A to B intact to go again the next day. I've had some wonderful food here at this place that I'm staying. It was recommended by a taxi driver we met when we came and did the recce. I had this kind of beetroot and carrot and sweet corn salad. I had beautiful tomatoes and some local cheese and chips and some salt, and yeah, and also met this other guy from Ukraine who has helped me plan the route for tomorrow and look at what's ahead of me and give me some confidence about what's to come. And again, that, you know, all of that stuff is just so helpful going to sleep, knowing that what's ahead is someone's just put a thumb up and said, look, it's fine, it'll be like what you did before. It takes a bit of the fear out of it for tomorrow. So now I'm kind of looking forward to running tomorrow, and that hasn't always been the case. So anyway, I've talked too much, and yeah, I don't know if some of these times I'm just sort of rambling. I don't know. I sort of always think, I should say something really poignant about what I'm learning from the culture, what I'm learning from the experience. I will endeavour to do a video where I sort of go a bit deeper, but every time I get to this stage of the day, my brain's gone a little bit to mush. And yeah, I hope that these updates are are interesting, and you can sort of see a bit of the journey I'm coming on. I'd love to show you more. The edits that I do here are done on my phone, so I'm doing it sort of very rudimentary. It's very hard for me to do kind of clever edits and overlay footage and show you the moments and shoot everything and all of those things. But hopefully you're getting a flavour of the journey that I'm on. And as I said in all the other videos, your support at home is very, very welcome. And don't forget to donate, share the donation link, tell other people about this journey so they can sort of see and join in. And yeah, all the comments that you guys have put up are all, I read them all even if I can't reply to them all, and they all help take me through each mile of the day. So keep them coming, and I will, yeah, hopefully I'll give you a bit more of an update tomorrow. I'll try and think of something really kind of insightful and poignant, sort of like Mark Twain, to say tomorrow, all right? Anyway, over and out from Bulgaria. Our first leg in Bulgaria is done. So from here to wherever you guys are, roger that or something. I don't know, roger that, over and out. What do you say? I'm signing off anyway. Bye.
Is this all that you dreamed it'd be? Ending up here, ending up with me. You could have gone anywhere, been anyone. You stole my heart like a thief on the run. You're not much for taking chances, but you've taken a chance on me.